Now, I don't know if this is controversial or not, but I'm going to say it. I really didn't like Kantara, A Legend, Chapter 1. I did not know that was the title of this film. Now, the first Kantara I didn't think was mind blowingly great. I thought it was overhyped as hell. But I couldn't deny that the first Kantara had something which was truly special. Like, if you had to ask me how much do I think the first Kantara was, I would say it was like a 3 out of 5. But that's only because I it was not my cup of tea. Like if someone said it was great, I would get it because it was truly unique. The aspect of the Deva in that movie was phenomenal. It was almost like, oh, supernatural, and there's this film, and it became straight up horror at some points when, you were not sure of what's happening and how the Devas would slowly enter his vision. Like, the first Kantara compared to this movie is a masterpiece. The first Kantara, I think, is pretty decent. I would definitely say it's much better than this film. Now, not to say this movie is terrible. Like, a terrible movie would be something which is bad on all aspects. That is not true. I think the movie has great special effects. I will say the special effects in this film are they're a bit too cartoon looking, but it's not over the top where you're like, what's happening? It works. I think the lighting in this movie is great. I think some of the humor in this movie works well. The humor in the first film just did not hit for me, even though they were very minimal, if we're being honest. And and again, it's hard for me to comprehend. Did I not like this movie because of how much I liked the first one? And I didn't like the first one that much. I thought, like I said, I thought it was a decent movie. But this one really felt like a downgrade for me. I think the problem with Kantara Chapter 2 is, or sorry, Chapter 1, Kantara 2 basically, it tries to do what was there in the first film, but it kind of turns it up a notch where it really doesn't work. It kind of, what made the first film that good was this aura of you don't know what's happening. I think what I'm trying to explain is the aura of understanding that these devas are so powerful that they could help you and they're that powerful and they can possess you, and it really was a age old thing like, hey, you mess with me, you mess with the demigod of this plot, and it was great. And honestly, it was the second half of Kantara is actually fantastic. Again, I feel like in retrospect, I was too harsh on Kantara 1 because Kantara 1 is genuinely amazing. Kantara 2 just feels like, hey, let's take what worked for that one, but let's turn the volume up to like 200%. It's too actiony, I would say. It focuses less on the supernatural aspect and more on a dramatic aspect. It feels very much like a Bahubali-esque movie, like a historical piece in a sense, with like the end having like multiple devas coming in. And I think that's another thing. Like, I liked it. I would like it if it was, for example, Tumbat Kantara, like they have one very important deva they kind of zone in on, and that's what's revealed towards the end. Here we have two. We have a lot of, oh, there's that whole fight with the half monster, half man. I forgot what the creature's called, but it's like terrible CGI. Like I said, too cartoony. It felt like it was made on a badly made video game, you know? And I understand the vision, but maybe you shouldn't have crammed up so much stuff towards the end, and it really, I did not like it. And I think my main problem is how much of a history movie this felt more than a supernatural film. I mean, it's literally written here, action epic. That's one of the that's one of the tags. Supernatural is what made Kantara 1 so good. What made Kantara 1 so good was the fact that it had supernatural elements blended into a realistic on the ground story. This one feels like, oh yeah, let's just have this larger than life film with like these big set pieces. Like I said, very Bahubali-esque. There's like a whole scene where they're like, oh, ruining a town, the things going on, like all these large set pieces with this larger than life plot. And for me, it feels like what made Kantara 1 so good. And of course, people will lap it up, right? People love this stuff. They're like, oh my god, it's great, it's all that. I think my problem is Kantara 1 is an example of a commercial film which is really non conventional. Like, you don't just see stuff like that which does well all the time. This is just what has already worked. and it clearly worked again. So why be surprised that it made a lot of money and people loved it? Like people who go to the theaters want to watch this stuff. It almost felt like this movie was made to get a lot of people to watch it, whereas the first one was made with a completely different vision. And the fact that it blew up was just a bonus. Like the first one, even if you ignore all the collection, is genuinely a great story and a good movie. But yeah, this one just felt bloated to me. Let's talk about. I mean, I have to give credit, of course. I have to give credit to Rishabh Shetty. On the acting front, I wouldn't say anything was wrong. I think it's great. Gulshan Devaya, shut up. You guys probably won't know why I'm saying that, but Gulshan Devaya, fantastic. He plays Kulashekara, fantastic role. He actually nailed it. Rishabh Shetty, fantastic acting. Rukmini Vasant, who I don't think I've seen before. I liked the fact that she was the spoilers, but like the whole twist with the daughter being the one who was behind it all. I liked that. I was like, yo, I wasn't expecting that. It's good stuff. Jairam playing King Rajashekara, also fantastic. Jairam is slowly becoming like one of my, he's like I would like Paresh Rawal. He's just there in so many movies, and he just plays such a variety of characters. Like I did not believe that was him, and I was like, wait, that's Jairam. The man's a chameleon, absolutely fantastic actor, right? So again, on the acting front, nothing's really missing. Like it's a well-performed film by the actors, so nothing against them. It's a well-directed movie too, to a sense. But I just feel like I don't like the fact that everything was so conflated, everything was so bloated to the point of here's Bahubali but with supernatural elements, and Bahubali itself, is not exactly the best. So I think that's what really killed it for me, because I really wanted to kind of see an extension of what the first film did some things pretty basic, but the things it got right, it got very right. And then to follow it up with this kind of feels like, yeah, now let's just make money off the fact that people like the first one and we know it's gonna work. And it just feels disappointing, if that's the word I'm looking for. Like, there was so much more you could have done with what went well with the first movie, but you decided to scrap all of that because now you're going in with the idea that, oh, the audience knows what the Devas are. But you could have presented a much deeper story within the horror, the horror side of things rather than the historical side of things. But that's just me. I feel like I'm in the minority here. Feel like people, to be honest, okay, for those of you who actually enjoy this movie, I would like to see like proper reasons as to why, not just it was epic and oh my god, I love gods. Like, hey man, I'm god loving too, but it's a movie. You can do again. Kantara one exists. I'm not even comparing it to other films. Just comparing it to the prequel just shows you like, hey, you can do a good job with the subject matter, but you didn't have to take the direction you took it in. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys thought of this movie down below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.